Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Right, so something a little bit different again. Lots of different stuff on the channel these days. Today's the 25th of July. It's a Saturday, 2020. And yesterday in the DCS World Weekend News was a link to this. It's a form that you can fill out, a bit of a survey. Eagle Dynamics want to hear from us. They're kind of mid-development of the F-16 Viper, and they want to know from us, hey, what's the next thing that you want to see coming out from the development community? Obviously, there's going to be, a significant amount of stuff left to get done in the Viper, and they just want to hear from us. Okay, what are the things that you want and find most important right now? So I've already filled this out. You're noticing that this is in an incognito window. That's because I've already filled it out, and I'm going to fill this out under a different profile. This is my Samurai 1.1 profile, actually. What I'm not going to do is hit submit. I've already submitted this once, so I don't want to mess up the statistics, and I'm only one person. They should only hear from me once. So I'm not going to hit submit. So those of you from ED, if any of you actually watch this channel, don't worry, I'm not going to hit submit more than once. But I thought what I would do is just go through and show you guys the things that I care most about. Now, if you watch the channel, you'll know that the thing that I tend to fly most in DCS is the F-18 Hornet. And I'm just a huge fan of carrier ops and naval operations and naval aviation. I grew up watching Top Gun, and being enamored with the Tomcat, and of course nowadays I really like the idea of flying multi-role. I like a little bit of air-to-air and a little bit of air-to-ground. So I haven't really flown the Tomcat. I own the module. I haven't really flown it. I know it can do some air-to-ground in the Bombcat kind of configuration, but I really love the Hornet. I really, really have a lot of fun flying that thing. I really love multi-role, and the 18 and the 16 are both true multi-role fighters, whereas with the Tomcat, it was kind of retrofitted later on. So I'm really excited about the F-16C coming into DCS World. Those of you also that follow the channel know that I fly BMS, and in that I fly the F-16, and I fly the Block 50. So there's some commonality here. I cannot wait for the F-16C Viper in DCS World. I think it's going to be a whole new dynamic. I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on it. I own it. I haven't been flying it very much at all. I think I've started it up once or twice, mainly because I like flying air-to-ground a lot. And the F-16C's air-to-ground game right now in DCS is relatively immature. There's quite a bit missing. And I thought what I would do is just, in terms of the things that excite me most about what's coming up next in the DCS F-16C, I thought I'd go through this survey with you and show you the things that I'm most excited about. So, without further ado, we'll start at the top. So right at the top, you're seeing the thing that I'm probably most excited about. Again, I love flying air-to-ground, and I love firing Mavericks. It's such a rush to get down low, pop up, fire off a Maverick, hit the deck again, and break off to the left or right. I really love it. You see me doing it in the Hornet quite a bit on the channel, and I'm really looking forward to the F-16's version of it, not least of which because it can actually carry a total of 6 Mavericks, possibly even 8, rather than the Hornet's 4. So in terms of Mavericks, I am super excited. So for me, that's a 5. That's a definite 5. Harms, yeah, interesting. I mean, even SAMs, I tend to try and use Mavericks on the SAMs, depending on the lethality of the SAMs. But again, if you've seen, and I'll put a pop-up here somewhere, there's a video of me taking out SAM sites with an SA-11 site in this case with some Mavericks. So I like the Harms, but they're a bit cold and impersonal. So I tend to prefer Mavericks. So we'll go with something like a 3 there. Same thing with the Harm targeting system. Lightning targeting pod, I think, is vastly important. I think a targeting pod is probably the most important air-to-ground sensor that you can get on the aircraft right now. So again, really important for me. Complete air-to-air radar. So again, in DCS world, there is a working but not fully featured air-to-air radar for the Viper in the game. I think some things like bullseye are quite important. Some of these things less so. But you know what? Bullseye, I think, is something that's very important. So I'm going to go with a 4 on that. Air-to-ground radar, yeah, you know what? It'd be nice. But if I'm honest, not super important for me. You know, I will love it when it comes in. But for now, it's not very high on my priority. Putting in some other bombing modes, especially dive toss, I think is going to be important. So we're going to go with a 4 on that. The toss anticipation queue, I think, is going to be important as well, especially in dive toss mode. I will be honest. I don't know what a BRU 57A. Let's try this. BRU 57A. What are you? Smart bomb rack. Good old military analysis network, Federation of something scientists. Okay, well, what do you drop from it? I don't know. Okay, you can drop, okay, JDAMs, JSAVs, I see. So it allows you to put multiples on that station. Okay, yeah, 3. GBUs, the JDAMs, yeah, I like them. Let's go high. CBU 105, the smart cluster bomb. Oh yeah, baby. Again, AGM 154s, you see me use them on the Hornet quite a bit. Interesting weapon, but I'll tell you what, I'll take Mavericks and CBU 105s any day. I think the ALQ 184 is pretty important, especially, I mean, the CM version of the Viper is the Wild Weasel version. And so having good electronic countermeasures will really help the seed and deed game for the Viper. So I'm going to go relatively high on that. Semi-automatic and automatic countermeasures programs, I think they will be very important. I tend to use them in manual mode anyways. The times that I don't are when I'm trying to kind of take out a something like a SAM site with guns or something like that. But otherwise, relatively low. Cockpit view pilot models, I hate them, so very low. Mark points, again, would be very important to have in the full game. I don't think it's something that I desperately need immediately. You see that I don't use them an awful lot in the Hornet. So we'll go with 3. I don't even know if they're modeled in the Hornet. Are they? Leave me a note in the show notes, in the comments below if you think they're modeled in. I'm not quite sure if they are. ICP modes, again, I use it quite a bit in BMS, especially the kind of cruise setup, because I like to see if I'm getting on the station at exactly the right time. I think in DCS, a little bit less important. Lat long and MGRS, pretty important, I think. HSD cursor, again, will be really important in the fullness of time, not super important now. Steer point on the HOTAS, again, I can make do without it for now. Flight model and FLCS tuning? Yeah, I think pretty important, actually. I think, in fact, I'm going to go with very important. I don't know if the flight model is fully featured in the Viper. Like I said, I don't tend to fly it very much. So if it's not complete, I think it needs to be very important. Landing and takeoff handling tuning. Again, interesting and important, but again, I can take it like it's on rails for a little bit for now. Some of these BDU racks, I think they're racks, BDU 33 and BDU 50. BDU-33. Dumb bombs. Yeah, they're these kind of multi-rack things. The Hornet's got them. I don't even know if I've ever flown with them. Travel pod. Yeah, no. GB24 would be interesting. Mark 84 airs, yeah, pretty high on that. Tow decoy, that will be really cool in the game when they get that modeled. I think that would be really neat, but again, is it a priority right now? Probably not. RWR is important. Handoff, PRF tones, You know, I do fly with them in BMS. They're good, but yeah, again, not high on my priority list right now. Integration of the joint helmet-mounted queuing system with the harm targeting system, Link 16, AG mode, and AIF. I don't know. I mean, that's important. Important with these things. I'm going to go with a 3. DTC and mission planner. Yeah, I mean, one of the, I don't think it's date. Is it date cartridge? Date transfer cartridge? I think it's data transfer cartridge. I might be wrong. If I'm not wrong and it is data, ED guys, you've got a typo. I think that's really important. It's one of the things that I love most about flying in BMS is being able to manually put stuff into the data cartridge from the mission planner. I think that's really cool. Animated tail hook in an F-16, meh. Air show smoke pods, meh. Desired HUD airspeed carrot, that's great for cruise mode. Yeah, not so important. FCS bit animations, again, will help with immersion, but not super high on the priority list for the Viper right now. Alternative landing gear, not super important to me. What else we got here? JFS door animation, again, will really help with immersion later on. Not super important. I'm not quite sure what this is. Wing, fuel tank, pylon, jettison correction. I'm going to go low. Is that something to do with vertical velocity, maybe? I don't know, so I'm going to go low. Sniper XT targeting pod. I think it'd be really cool to have some non-lantern targeting pod gameplay in DCS World. I'm going to go relatively high on that. Right, that's it. That's all the kind of radio button selections that they've got. The other thing I typed in here when I submitted was the main. I said something like the main focus I would have on the Viper. My typing is terrible right now. Right now is the A to G game, and that's it. Typed in Samurai 11 down there, so those of you in ED, that's me. And then I clicked on submit now, and like I said, I'm not going to click on submit. So that's it. That's the kind of prioritization that I would place. It's a very personal and very kind of subjective thing. It's not objective at all. This is just based on the way I like flying in DCS World. Everybody's going to have a different opinion. If you've got some different thoughts about what you would prioritize, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you disagree with something, yeah, let's talk about it. I mean, I've always said, I don't have a monopoly on the right answer on anything, right? So if you guys have some different viewpoints, let me know. Otherwise, that's it for today's video, folks. Just a short little one. As always, take care of each other. Stay happy, stay healthy. Samurai 11 is RTB.